Hello and welcome back to our series on IUPAC naming of alkanes without functional group. In the previous videos, we covered the simplest type of alkanes consisting only carbon and hydrogen atoms. In this video, we are going to explore the naming of more complex alkanes consisting of halogens and alkoxy groups. Now let us dive into some examples of more complex alkanes and how we can apply the IUPAC naming rules to name them accurately. By the end of this video, you will have a solid understanding of how to name a wide range of alkanes and be one step closer to mastering organic chemistry. Write the IUPAC names of the following compounds. Here is the problem number 1. This is a haloalkane because it contains atoms of halogen elements, that is bromine and chlorine. Solution. First, we have to select the longest continuous chain of carbon atoms. This is the parent chain or main chain. After selection of the parent chain, we have to number the carbon atoms in the chain. So the numbering can be done in either ways here. Okay. So first I am numbering from left to right. Then from right to left. Which way of numbering is correct? In order to know that, we have to use the lowest set of locants rule. I already told you in my previous videos that locant is nothing but the number that locates the position of the substituent is known as locant. For example, here 2 is a locant because this carbon atom, that is second carbon atom, is bearing one substituent bromine. Similarly, 4 is also a locant because fourth carbon atom, starting from left to right, fourth carbon atom is bearing one substituent chlorine. So 2 and 4 are the locants. So here, which way of numbering is correct? In order to know that, I am going to use one rule called lowest set of locants rule. See here, from left to right, set 1 locants are from left to right, second and fourth carbon atoms are bearing substituents. Set 2, from right to left, third and fifth carbon atoms are bearing substituents. So we have to compare these two sets term by term. So at the first point of difference, you see here 2 is less than 3. That means you no need to compare the remaining locants. At the first point of difference itself, 2 is less than 3. That means set 1 is lower than set 2. So numbering from left to right is the correct one. From right to left is the wrong one. So you remove them. Then in the parent chain, there are 6 carbon atoms. The root word is hex, primary suffix an, secondary suffix e. Okay, because no double bonds or triple bonds are there in this, so it is an. Secondary prefixes, primary prefix won't come here. Secondary prefixes chlorine and bromine. Okay, so the name of IUPAC name of this haloalkane is, we have to write the IUPAC name according to alphabetical order if more than one substituent is there. So bromine comes first, chlorine comes later. So 2-bromo 4-chlorohexane. Okay, so this is the IUPAC name of this compound, haloalkane. Problem number 2. See here, solution. So this one is the longest chain, numbering from left to right and from right to left. Later we have to decide which way of the numbering is correct. I am using the lowest set of Locant's rule. Set 1 left to right, second and third carbon atoms are bearing the substituents, chlorine atoms, see here. Set 2 from right to left, third and fourth carbon atoms are bearing the substituents. So 2 is less than 3, so set 1 is lower than set 2. So this one is the correct numbering, this one is the wrong numbering. Okay, now the root word is pent, ANE, secondary prefix is chlorine. Okay, so 2 chlorine atoms are there from left to right. You see here, second and third carbon atoms are bearing 2 substituents, that is chlorine atoms. So the IUPAC name of this alkane is 2,3 dichloropentane. 2,3 dichloropentane. Okay. Next, problem number 3. Solution. So this is the longest continuous chain of carbon atoms, numbering from left to right and from right to left. So set 1 locants are 2, 3, 2, 3. Set 2 locants are 3, 4. So 2 is less than 3. That means set 1 is lower than set 2. At the first point of difference, 2 is less than 3. So the numbering from left to right is the correct one. Okay. So the root word is pent because 5 carbon atoms are there in this parent chain, ANE, and secondary prefixes, see here, chlorine and CH3, methyl. These two are the secondary prefixes. Okay. So while writing the IUPAC name, we have to write their names according to alphabetical order. That means substituents are to be written according to alphabetical order. So chlorine comes first, methyl group comes later. So write chlorine at first, 3-chloro 2-methyl pentane, 3-chloro 2-methyl pentane. Okay. Here is the problem number 4. This is the alkane to which we have to provide the IUPAC name. Solution. In this, first we have to select the longest chain of carbon atoms, that is parent chain. We have to select at first. If we select this as the parent chain, then the number of carbon atoms present in this chain is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 only. Instead, if we select this as the parent chain, then the number of carbon atoms present in this chain is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is the parent chain. To this parent chain, 2 alkyl groups have been attached. So here is one ethyl group is attached. Here one methyl group is attached. So after selection of the parent chain, we have to give the numbers to the carbon atoms in the chain, and the numbering can be done either from left to right or from right to left. In both ways I will do the numbering. Later I will check which way of numbering is correct. See here, first I am numbering the carbon atoms from the left to right. Similarly, from right to left also I am numbering the carbon atoms. So which way of numbering is correct? In order to check that, I am going to use the rule lowest set of locants rule, isn't it? Here is the lowest set of locants rule. From left to right, the locants are 3, 6. That is, third carbon and the sixth carbon are bearing substituents. So set 1 locants are left to right 3 to 6. Set 2 from right to left, fourth carbon is bearing methyl group and seventh carbon is bearing ethyl group. Okay. Now we have to compare these two sets term by term. At the first point of difference 3 is less than 4, then we can say that set 1 is lower than set 2. So this selection is the correct one. Left to right selection is the correct one. That is, numbering is correct one. And from right to left numbering is the wrong one. Wrong numbering. Okay. So remove that. Now in this parent chain, 9 carbon atoms are there. Then the root word is known, and primary suffix an, secondary suffix e. I already explained about these things. Now secondary prefixes, 2 substituents have been attached to this chain, one at third carbon and another one at sixth carbon. So ethyl and methyl, these two groups are the secondary prefixes. Okay. So while writing the name, we have to follow the alphabetical order. So 3 ethyl, 6 methyl nonane. 3 ethyl, 6 methyl nonane. Okay. Next, problem number 5. This is a haloalkane. Why? Because it contains atoms of halogen elements, bromine and chlorine as the substituents. Solution. So this is the longest chain of carbon atoms because it contains only one chain. Now I am numbering from left to right and from right to left also. So let us check which one is the correct one by using the lowest set of locants rule. Set 1 from left to right, third carbon 3, 3, 4, 4. Set 2 locants. So here 2, 2, 3, 3. Okay. So if you compare these two sets, set 2 is lower than set 1 because at the first point of difference 2 is less than 3. Hence this one is the wrong numbering and this one is the correct numbering. And the root word is pent, primary suffix an, secondary suffix e, and primary prefix won't come because it will come only for cyclic compounds, and the secondary prefixes are nothing but substituents. Here chlorine and bromine are the substituents. Now we have to write the name according to the alphabetical order. Bromine comes first, so right to left numbering is correct. So 2, 3 dibromo, 2, 3 dichloropentane. 2, 3 dibromo, 2,3-dichloropentane. Okay. Next problem number 6. So this is one alkane to which we have to provide the name, IUPAC name. A little bit complex organic compound because it contains many substituents. So let us provide IUPAC name to this compound. Okay. So this is the longest chain of carbon atoms. That means this one is the parent chain. And I am numbering from left to right and from right to left also. So which one is correct one? In order to know that, use the lowest set of locants rule. Set 1 left to right locants are, you see here, second carbon is bearing chlorine and ethyl groups. Okay, so 2 2. Third carbon is bearing OCH3. This, it is nothing but methoxy. OR, alkoxy. So methoxy. And fifth carbon is containing chlorine, and sixth carbon ethyl methyl groups. So these are the locants from left to right. If we consider numbering from left to right, these are the locants. Set 2, these are the locants. Okay, 3 3 4 6 7 7. So if we compare these two sets of locants at the first point of difference, that means we have to compare term by term. At the first point of difference, the first locants, if you compare these two first locants, 2 is less than 3. That means set 1 is lower than set 2. You no need to compare the remaining locants. So this one is the correct numbering and this one is the wrong numbering. Okay. So root word, 8 carbon atoms are there. It is oct, primary suffix an, secondary suffix e, and here secondary prefixes. See here, chlorine is there, ethyl group is there. This one is methoxy. Okay. So these are the substituents. This is the IUPAC name for this. 2,5 dichloro, because I have written these names, that is substituents, as per the alphabetical order. So 2,5, see here, chlorine is there at the second carbon and on the fifth carbon. 2,5 dichloro. Next ethyl will come. So 2,6 diethyl. Next methoxy 3 methoxy, 6 methyl octane. Okay, this is the IUPAC name of this organic compound. Next, problem number 7. Here is another complex alkane to which we have to give the IUPAC name. Solution, and this one is the parent chain, and I am numbering the carbon atoms in the parent chain in both ways, that is from left to right and from right to left also. Then I will use lowest set of locants rule to know which way of numbering is correct. From left to right, set 1 locants are 2 2, 3 3, 4 5 6. From right to left, 2, that is second carbon atom, is bearing one substituent called propyl. Next 3. Okay. See here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6. Now we have to compare these two sets term by term. The first locants are equal. Then we have to go for the next locants. Here at the first point of difference 2 is less than 3. So ignore the comparing the remaining locants. That means set 1 is lower than set 2. So the numbering from left to right is the correct numbering, and the numbering from right to left is the wrong numbering. Okay, and the root word is hept. Here so many substituents are there. Ethyl, this one is chloro, fluoro, iodo, and this one is ethoxy, alkoxy group, that is ethoxy, and this one is propyl. Okay, so these are the secondary prefixes you see here, and the name of this compound is, I am writing this name of the compound according to the alphabetical order. See here, 3 chloro, 5 ethoxy, this one, 2 ethyl. Okay, next 4 fluoro, 3 iodo, 2 methyl, 6 propyl heptane. Okay, next problem number 8. This is one organic compound. Solution, we have to give IUPAC name to it, and this is the longest chain of carbon atoms. I am numbering from left to right, and I will number from right to left also. Now use the lowest set of locants rule. Set 1 locants from left to right: 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. From right to left: 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. So if you compare these two sets of locants, then the first terms are equal, then go to the next terms. 3 is less than 4. So at the first point of difference 3 is less than 4. That means set 2 is lower than set 1. So the numbering from left to right is the wrong one, and from right to left is the correct numbering. Then root word oct, primary suffix an, secondary suffix e, and these are the secondary prefixes: bromine, methoxy, chlorine, and ethoxy. Okay, so the IUPAC name of this alkane is 7-bromo 3,4 dichloro 2-ethoxy 5-methoxy octane. Okay, here is the problem number 9. So this is the alkane to which we have to provide IUPAC name, and this one is a little bit complex organic compound, because the selection of parent chain is more important in this. So here is the solution. I will take a copy of this to here. Okay, now which one is the parent chain? Suppose if we take this as the parent chain, then it contains only 6 carbon atoms. Instead, if we select this as the parent chain, then it contains 7 carbon atoms. So this is the longest chain of carbon atoms, this one. Then it contains 7 carbon atoms. Now Numbering can be done either from bottom to top or from top to bottom. So I will do the numbering in both ways. Then I will verify which one is the correct one. So here I am numbering from bottom to top, here from top to bottom also. Now use the lowest set of locants rule to know which way of numbering is correct. From top to bottom, you see here top to bottom, third carbon atom, next fourth carbon atom, this one, next fifth carbon atom, next sixth carbon atom. These atoms are bearing substituents. Next, so these are the locants from top to bottom. Set two locants from bottom to top. B to T means bottom to top. Second carbon atom, next third carbon atom, next fourth carbon atom, next fifth carbon atom. These are bearing substituents. Now let us compare these two sets term by term. So at the first point of difference 2 is less than 3. That means set 2 is lower than set 1. You no need to compare the remaining terms. So this one is the wrong numbering and this one is the correct numbering. Now root word is hept, primary suffix an, secondary suffix e, and the substituents are methyl and this one is ethyl group. Okay, and we have to write the name as per the alphabetical order. Ethyl group comes first, so 3-ethyl 2,4,5 trimethyl heptane. Okay, so 3-ethyl 2,4,5 trimethyl heptane. And the last problem, that is problem number 10 in this video, is this one. Okay, solution. This is the given alkane. Okay, nothing but it is haloalkane. Why? Because chlorine and bromine atoms are there as substituents, and this is the longest chain of carbon atoms. Let us do the numbering from left to right and from right to left also. Later we will check which one is the correct one. Okay, now use the lowest set of locants rule. Left to right locants are, see here, left to right, first carbon atom is bearing one bromine substituent, second carbon atom, and eighth carbon atom is bearing two substituents. For that reason it is 8. I repeated here. So these are the locants from left to right, and from right to left 1,1. Okay, next 7 and 8. And if you compare these two sets term by term, the first two locants are equal, then go to the next two locants. Here one is less than 2. So at the first point of difference 1 is less than 2. Then ignore the remaining terms. That means set 2 is lower than set 1. So this is the wrong numbering. Left to right is the wrong numbering. From right to left is the correct numbering. Okay, and here 8 carbon atoms are there in this chain. So it is the root word is oct, primary suffix an, secondary suffix e, and these are the secondary prefixes. Now we have to write the name as per the alphabetical order. Okay, so 1,8 dibromo, because bromine comes first, and 1 chloro 7 ethoxy octane. Okay. Thank you.